Hi, it's Jenny from Stamping Jenny. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator just south of Sydney, Australia. Thanks for joining me today. I have another project for you. It's a little bit different to what I normally share, but it's a really cute gift bag. You can see just how small it is here. Now, I'm going to show you step by step how to create it. I'll give you the measurements in metric and imperial. Just remember that any of the products are available in my store. A link is in the description. And if you have a lot on your wish list, then it's always great value to join the Stampin' Up family, and I look forward to welcoming you to my Gen Zinc team. So let's get started. What you'll need is a piece of card and some beautiful pretty paper. I'm using the lovely butterfly Bijou paper. Now, just a note on the paper that you choose, we're actually going to cut this paper in half. So you want something that has an all over, fairly even, equal pattern. So, for example, if we used something like this, when you cut it in half, you're going to be joining it. You're going to have a little bit different pattern and colours. That might be okay, that's all right. But with this one, you'll have, cut it in half, you're going to have some more white on it than the green showing. It depends on what you want to create. And the butterfly, this one is an all over pattern as well, which would work okay. But I really liked this sweet one with lots of butterflies and lots of colour on it. So we'll get our paper trimmer in because you'll need that. Now, for our paper, you want to cut, you're going to cut that in half. So it's a 6 by 6 piece that it already comes in. So you'll cut it at 3 inches, or it'll be 7.5 centimeters. So just run that in half. Now for these pieces, you're going to score them both at, I'll just get my scorer, just keep that little trimmer out of the way. I hope you can see that okay. You're going to be scoring this at, let me get the measurements right. So you're going to score it at 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches, and move that along to 9.5 centimeters or 3 3/4 inches. So you want to do that on both pieces, 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches, and 9.5 centimeters or 3 3/4 inches. So we'll put these aside for the moment, but we're done cutting and scoring it. You'll need a piece of card. So that's going to be 7 centimeters by 21 centimeters, or you're looking at 2 3/4 by 8 1/4. So let's just trim that down. It's already at 21 centimeters. Now you're going to be scoring this firstly on the 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 size. You're going to be scoring it at 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch. Make sure you get that little cutting blade out of the way. So on the short side, cut that at 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch. Now turn that, and you're going to be scoring it at 7 centimeters, which is 2 3/4 inches. Slide that along, score it at 9.5 centimeters or 3 3/4 inches. Bring it along to 16.5 centimeters. We need to open that out. 16.5 centimeters. I like how you've got that little number in there. 16.5 centimeters, or it would be 6.5 inches. And 19 centimeters. So bring it right along. 19 centimeters or 7.5 inches. So I don't know if you can see the score lines already there. So let's get our trimmer out of the way so we can work with this piece. We need to cut on the score lines. So I'm just going to fold them first. So it doesn't matter whether you fold first and then cut, or whether you're going to cut and then fold, either way. But I find if you fold it first, it gives you a little bit more easier to see where the lines are. So just that last little one, you can use your bone folder and burnish those just to make it crisp if you want to. We'll do this long one on the long edge again and just give that a burnish. Now what you want to do is cut up these small lines on the narrow tab section. So just cut up to that score line. Right up there. You can use your trimmer if you want to cut these lines if you like to. Now with this little end one, you want to cut that off. Just give that a little snip. All right, I think it looks nice if on this bottom edge, you just add something to it. You could stamp it, you could dry emboss the card, add some texture to it, or with this one, I've just used that little hatch line that are on the dies. So I'm just going to grab my dies. You'll want to do this before you actually put it together. So I've used the Brilliant Wings dies. I love all these different dies. And just grab that hatched one. You can always cut a butterfly in it, or maybe some bricks. We've even got the dots in there. We're just going to run this through the die cut machine. So just position it there. You're going to do it in this large section and again here. So I'm just going to run over and do that now. Here we have that hatch pattern on your edges there. I think it just adds a little visual interest to it. So now we have all our pieces together. We're going to assemble. First we'll need to assemble the box. So what you're going to do is get your adhesive. You can use some strong adhesive like the tape. I'm just going to use the Tombow for this one, more for quickness. And what you can do if you like is just taper it in so it sits nicely. And I could have done that when I was cutting these out. I just thought about it then. Just add a little bit so then it will sit snugly. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So if you were to, if we're going to fold up the box, and you can see that these just fit in snugly in there. So I like to assemble the box before I actually stick it together, just so I can see how it's sitting, if I need to trim anything. So you can trim this part down if you want to as well, just by tapering off the edge. Right, so now we'll just add our little bit of adhesive here and fold this in. This is where the fun begins, trying to get it all stuck together. With the Tombow, it does get a bit slippery, so just put on a little bit too much, it's going to ooze out there. So tape is better, or the snail. I just didn't have that on hand at the moment. Just hold that to seal it. Then once you've done that, you can bring this one in. So I'm going to add that and stick that down. Just see that it lines up together. We're going to hold that together. I hope you can see it. It's good using the Tombow too, because you can just slide it a little just in case it doesn't quite line up. Then you want to do this side piece. So just add, yes, it did come apart, but we'll put it together again. It's like Humpty Dumpty. So it just needs a little pressure on it. So there, it doesn't take much to assemble the box. There you have it like that. Now, when you are putting it together, just think about how it all sits. I've actually put those flaps a bit differently, but it's just to give you an idea. Now we're bringing our pieces of paper that we have cut before. We have 2 pieces that we trimmed the 6 by 6 in half, and we've scored it at 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches, and 9.5 centimeters, 3 3/4 inches. What I did forget to tell you at the time is this width is actually 12 centimeters or 4 3/4. So you'll need to cut those down as well. Just cut that little edge off. So you're having 2 pieces, a large section here and 2 smaller tabs. What you want to do now is we're going to join these together. We need to place our adhesive on this small tab here. We're only going to do it on one side. So just run that along there and just line that up together. So with the Tombow, you can slide that in place again. There we go. And now what we're going to do is actually adhere this just to the top edge of your box that we formed. So we're going to think about first, how is this going to sit? Which side do we want our front and our back? Because you're actually going to do it. I've done this tab around the other way, but I am going to put this one on the back first. So the smaller tab, if you just place that around the back first. So what we want to do is run some adhesive, whether you want to use tape or the Tombow or a snail type of adhesive, whatever you use, run along the bottom edge there. It's much better than if you put it straight on your box. Tuck that in around the top edge. You can just see that here. Once you've just got a grip on it, you can then start wrapping it around. Just take one section at a time, and as you go, check that it's straight, but also hold it in position. You're going to add that in, so you're wrapping this around. Just slowly, slowly. Now hopefully you meet up at the right place again, and you can just put that together. Just hold that down until it's stuck, and you can push that around, put pressure on it around there too to stick it. It just takes a few seconds to hold. So we'll focus on that first, and then you can put the rest of it together. Once that's stuck, just add a little bit, run that down this tab, and hold that in place. There we are. So you can get an idea of what's happening here. We're just adhering the paper just along that top edge of the card. Now once it's dry, just pinch in those sides. Just run down, pinch that in. You're going to put a hole, punch a hole in the top there. Whether you've got a hole punch or it could be a different shape. What I'm going to use is my trusty crocodile. which I still have and I use all the time. It's great for punching those holes, especially through lots of layers. And then we want to tie it up. I'm using this Magenta Madness in colour ribbon. Just feed that through the hole. Give yourself a good amount of length to work with to tie your bow. You want a nice big bow on it. So wrap that around. And you want it to have it so it's falling to the front. Let's just tie that up. I'm doing it backwards because I find it much better. It sits better when you do it upside down or of the opposite way. All right, pull those loops in until you're happy with that, and we'll trim off that length. Now, want to angle cut it so it doesn't fray. We're just going to trim that end up too. There you have your little box, but let's decorate it. You can decorate it however you like to. I've actually used one of the dies from the butterfly wings, from the Brilliant Wings it's called. And I've cut that from mint macaron. I think it just sits nicely on there. But if it's a busy background, sometimes the butterfly gets lost. So what I've done is cut a piece of vellum, a vellum circle. So you can put that there, and it just adds that bit of separation so you can see it a little easier. So I'm just going to add, I'm still using the snail here. You don't want to use a Tombow or wet glue like that because it will soak through the vellum. So just stick that to the box like that, and add a little bit of your glue on there. To add a pretty butterfly. It doesn't need much more than that. You could add a sentiment. I decided not to just add a sentiment right now. I can always do that later. Add a pearl dot. Pearl it to the front of it there. There you have it. A pretty box. This will be so nice. It could fit a number of chocolates in it, or a gift card, something nice and small for someone special. You have a little butterfly box. I'll show you a couple of other versions of it. So I made one using the dragonflies and the beautiful Dandy Garden paper and a tiny little ladybug trinket on that. So that's a really sweet one too, a great way to use that dandelion paper. This was the first one I made using the whale time, and I didn't stamp or die cut or anything down the bottom. It was only afterwards I thought, I think it just needs something else added. It's much easier to do that once before you assemble it. So I've just added the little whale on it there for now. I'll add a sentiment or something on the bottom of it later. So I hope you like these cute little boxes. If you're watching it on Facebook, give it a like, share it around. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe to my channel and catch more projects. But I hope you've enjoyed this and you get to make one. And happy stamping. I'll see you next time. Bye.